I wrapped my jacket around the body and whispered slowly near his ear, "It's okay. No one noticed." I blinked my eyes as there was a sword, and he nodded his head back. I took Jungkook in my arm and spoke to him in my voice. "My baby is becoming naughty." And he gave me a smile again. "Come on, Tae, wash your hand. We'll leave," I said in a soft voice. They nodded his head and stood up. I followed behind him as he walked outside. As they entered inside the car, I leaned forward through the window and said, "I'll just inform Jeho and came back, okay?" They nodded his head and I left from there. I was sitting inside the car and waiting for Jungkook. Jungkook was sitting on my lap and played with my chain. After a few seconds, one of his friends whom I meet inside came and leaned by the window. "Hey, Mr. Taehyung," he said, with a smirk on his face. I gave him a slight smile. "How did you and Jungkook meet?" he asked. I stared at him silently first, and then answered, "Arranged marriage." "Oh, great," he said and smirked. He shifted his hand inside and tried to touch my hand. I immediately took my hand back. "What happened?" he asked, and I remained silent. "Attitude." He chuckled and tried to hold my hand again. "Don't touch me," I mumbled, and pulled back my hands again. "What do you think about yourself? I don't know what Jungkook saw in you," he said. "Please leave," I said and looked away. "He is using you. Trust me, otherwise Jungkook would never even look back at boy like you," he said, trying to catch my attention back. Jungkook suddenly started crying, and I started to pat his back slowly. "What do you think? A boy like you can raise a child?" "Never." "Have you seen your class?" he said, and I almost yelled, "Go away!" Just then my eyes fell on Jungkook coming inside the parking area. His gaze shifted toward him and then toward me. "Dare to say anything to him. I see you both. If you utter a word against me," he said. When I returned back, I saw Kaiwa leaning against the window of my car and talked with Taehyung. When he saw me, he straightened himself up and smiled looking at me. "Jungkook, I was only asking about you," he said, and forwarded his hand for a handshake. "Well, I'm leaving. See you later." I almost ignored him and walked straight to my seat. I started driving us home. On the way, I asked Taehyung, "What was he talking to you?" He didn't utter a word. "I'm asking you something, Taehyung." I increased my voice. He he said that Taehyung eyes were that that what? I asked, looking Taehyung with his moist eyes. He must have spoke something wrong to him. I knew it. From the college days, itself he was like that. "That you marry me. Just just to use my body," they mumbled. "Did you feel that real?" I asked. They pointed his eyes and said, "No, no, Jungkook. Then why are you crying? I said, look straight. They were silent. I glared at him and his cheeks were red. Did he say something more? Tell the truth. I inquired. They looked at me with his beautiful eyes and said, our status is insane. I'll never be able to rise stronger perfectly, and that I married if we wealth, and he threatened me not to tell you all this, otherwise he'd defame me, and you in front of everyone. My blood would rush inside my vein. I fist my hand tightly. I want to beat him up badly, that he would not able to recognize his own face. But then I heard Taehyung's voice. I stopped the car on the empty corner of the road. I looked at Taehyung and tried to calm him down. Stop crying, Taehyung. His chest was heaving up and down. Look at me. They look into my eyes. Does it matter to you if our status are same or not? Have I and my family let you feel it, even once? They shook his head and no. What else did he say? And yes, you're not able to rise stronger perfectly. To that, I would say, until now I have seen you rising and well. No one would have able to take care of him like you do. Trust me. Jungkook is lucky that he got you at his mother. They was looking at me with his glassy eyes. Understood? They noted his head. And don't worry about whatever he said too. And treated you. I'll deal with him in my own way. I said, looking straight into their eyes. Should we head back home? I said in a calming voice, and they nodded his head. On the way, he asked me about his friend who was talking to me. I tried to hide it from him, but I failed. I honestly was hurt by his word. I know, I'm right. Still, it hurts. I started crying and narrated everything to Jungkook, and the way he handled me showed that he was a true gentleman. To be honest, day by day he is doing things to me that are forcing me to fall for him. No man in my life had been so good to me. I share the same room with him, but he never tried to take advantage of me. Whatever something tried to hurt me, I'll see the care in his eyes for me. I don't know, whatever it was for his newlywed wife or his son's mother, but I adored that care for me in his eyes. It had been 2 weeks since the incident happened. Jungkook started calling me in his cute voice. I really can't wait for my baby son to start speaking the day. He would call me Mama. It would probably the happiest day of my life. He says, when you want water, Jungkook teach him to speak Appa, but Jungkook only muttered, I feel very lucky. I was getting to experience this cute thing with my baby. I was sitting on the balcony when Jungkook's voice disturbed my thought. Taehyung, where are you? He shouted. What happened, Jungkook? I ran inside the room and saw him standing with Jungkook in his arm. Why aren't you heading toward your office? He moved Jungkook slightly away from his body. His suit had a wet stain. See what your son did, he said, with frustration, and I couldn't stop myself from laughing.